Before we begin, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here, we don't tell stories just to entertain. We tell stories to heal, to strengthen, and to remind you that no one walks alone. If you feel like you needed to hear something like this today, this space is yours too. The day always started the same way for Anna. The distant sound of roosters mingled with the wind hitting the banana leaves, while the mist still slept over the fields. The smell of wet earth rose slowly from the red ground, and the sunlight entered timidly through the crack in the wooden window, drawing golden lines on the simple floor of the bedroom. Anna would sit on the edge of the bed and stay there for a few seconds, in silence, looking at her own hands. They were hands marked by work. Calluses on the fingers. Short nails. Small scars from someone who always lived doing more than speaking. She couldn't remember the last time she had woken up without that strange weight in her chest, a mixture of tiredness, longing, and a type of emptiness that couldn't be explained. The house where she lived was at the end of a dirt road, far from the noise of the world. A beautiful place for those looking from the outside, but for Anna, it carried a silence that was far too deep. Her mother had left too soon. Her father, swallowed by his own sadness, spent most of his days absent even while being present. When he also passed away, all that remained were Anna, that house, and the sound of the wind blowing through the fields. She dressed slowly. A simple skirt, a cotton shirt, worn-out boots. In the kitchen, the kettle was already on the stove. The smell of fresh coffee mingled with the day-old bread. Anna sat at the small table, leaning against the wall, and watched the steam rise, as if looking for some answer inside it. Sometimes, the world seemed too big. Other times, too small. She worked helping in the neighboring plantations, tended the vegetable garden, and washed clothes for some families in the region. The money was little, but enough to keep breathing. What she lacked was rest for her soul. When she walked down the road, the wind always brought memories. Her mother's laughter, her father's advice, dreams she never got to tell anyone. Anna was only in her early 20s, but she carried in her gaze the maturity of someone who learned to lose far too early. That morning, however, something made her more restless than usual. A strange tightness in her chest, as if the day were holding a surprise in its hands. She finished her coffee, grabbed her cloth bag, and left. The sun was already higher, illuminating the green and golden fields. The world looked beautiful, but Anna's heart was heavy. She walked to the main road to catch a ride to the city. She needed to buy medicine and deliver some laundered clothes. On the way, she sat in the shade of a tree and watched the cars pass. Few passed. The road was almost forgotten. Until a black car, large and far too clean for that dirt road, stopped a few meters ahead. The window rolled down. "Are you going to the city?" a young man asked in a calm voice. Anna approached, suspicious. The young man had fine features, simple glasses, and a polite manner. The kind of person who seemed to belong to another world. "I am," she replied. "Me too. You can hop in." Anna hesitated for only a second. Then she opened the door and entered. His name was Michel. And without knowing it, at that moment, the two had just crossed an invisible line that would change everything. As the car moved down the road, the wind came through the window, messing up Anna's hair. She didn't imagine that this simple ride was about to split her life in two. Before and after. The silence between them wasn't uncomfortable. It was just human. Michel drove with concentration, occasionally casting a discreet glance at Anna, as if trying to understand who she was. And Anna, looking out the window, felt a strange premonition. As if the world were about to turn upside down. The way to the city continued almost in silence. The car engine made a low, constant hum, and the wind blew through the open windows, bringing the smell of grass, dust, and freedom. Anna watched the landscapes pass like someone watching her own life through a window, unable to touch, unable to change. Michel drove carefully. His way was different from all the men Anna knew. He didn't speak loudly. He didn't ask invasive questions. There was a strange calmness in him, almost too respectful for that simple world. "Do you live far?" he asked, breaking the silence. At the end of the road, she replied. That white house, after the bridge. Michel nodded. He knew the region only in passing. He was there temporarily. He was studying medicine in the capital but was doing a voluntary internship at a countryside hospital. There was something in the way he spoke about it that made it clear. Medicine wasn't just a profession for him. It was a mission. Anna listened attentively, but inside her, another conversation was happening. Since she was a girl, she had learned to hide her pain. Life had taught her that no one stays long enough to listen. So she gathered it all and kept it in a silent corner of her chest. But that day felt different. While Michel spoke, Anna remembered her mother's empty room, the scent of the perfume that never returned, her father sitting on the porch, staring at the horizon, silent for hours, until the day he also left. After that, the world became too big for a girl all alone. She had to learn to be strong without wanting to be an adult without being ready, to smile even when her chest felt like it was sinking. And you? Michel asked. What do you do for work? Whatever comes up, she replied, giving a half smile. It was always like that. People asked. She gave the basic answer, and no one ever saw what lay behind it. Because Anna's deepest wound wasn't poverty, nor loneliness. It was the feeling of not belonging anywhere. At that moment, the sun hit the windshield hard. The road made a long curve. Michel slowed down. Anna pressed her bag against her chest without knowing why. An old memory flashed through her mind, her mother saying, years before, when something seems too calm, it's because life is holding its breath. She never forgot that sentence. And in that second, the world seemed to hold its breath. A truck appeared in the curve at high speed. Time shattered. The sound of brakes. The steering wheel turning. Glass shattering. The impact. Then, only darkness. Anna woke up in a hospital. The smell of medicine, the distant beep of machines, the white and cold light. She tried to move. She couldn't. She tried to speak. Her voice wouldn't come out. Her whole body seemed to exist, but not respond. She blinked, confused, scared, until a nurse noticed. She's awake. The doctor approached. Michel was in the background, his face bruised, his arm bandaged, his eyes red. Anna, you had a serious accident, the doctor said carefully. Your spine was hit. The words came slowly, but heavy like stones. You don't feel your legs, do you? Anna tried. Nothing. The world began to sink. There are chances of recovery, but for now. The doctor took a deep breath. Now, you are paraplegic. The word echoed inside her like thunder. Paraplegic. Anna turned her face to Michel. He looked in shock, holding back tears like someone holding back an entire lifetime. And there, in that frozen room, Anna's second wound was born. The one no one saw. The wound of resentment. The wound of injustice. The wound of the question that had no answer. Why me? The following days turned into a fog for Anna. The hospital always had the same smell, a mixture of alcohol, silence, and fragile hope. The white ceiling had become her horizon. The hours passed too slowly, as if time had forgotten how to walk. She watched people enter and leave the room. Doctors, nurses, social workers. No one stayed long. Everyone was in a hurry. Except Michel. He appeared every day. Always at the same time. Always with the same care. He sat by the bed, talking about simple things. The weather, the road, the flowers that had started to bloom near the hospital. He didn't talk about the accident. He didn't talk about guilt. But Anna saw it in his eyes. She saw the weight. What Anna felt was different. It was fire. A silent blaze growing inside her. Anger at the world. Anger at God. Anger at faith. And, mainly, anger at Michel. Because if she hadn't accepted that ride, she would be walking at this very moment. Walking. Working. Living. Gradually, the doctors confirmed the injury was severe. The chance of walking again existed, but it would be long, painful, and uncertain. Anna didn't want to hear it. She began to refuse visitors, refuse food, refuse hope, until the day the social worker entered the room with an envelope. "Anna, we need to talk about your discharge." "Discharge?" She laughed humorlessly. "Discharge to where?" The assistant explained. She had nowhere to go. The simple house in the countryside wasn't equipped. There was no money. There were no close relatives. And then came the information that turned her life upside down. "The family of the young man from the accident has taken responsibility for you." Anna fell silent. "Michel's family?" "Yes. They are very influential. Lawyers, doctors, businessmen. His father took on all the costs. And they have offered for you to stay at their house during your recovery." The room seemed to spin. She felt something new mix with the pain. An idea, dark, bitter, but strong. If Michel and his family had taken everything from her, then now, they were going to pay. Not with money, with their own lives. Anna accepted. The mansion was bigger than anything Anna had ever seen. High gates, perfect gardens, artificial silence. She was taken to a room on the ground floor, specially adapted for her. New bed, accessible bathroom, everything impeccable, but nothing there felt like home. Michel appeared that night. He was pale, nervous. "Anna, I'm so sorry. If I could." She interrupted him with a cold voice. "You will be able to." He frowned. "From now on," she continued, "you will do everything I tell you. You will be here every day. You will help me up, bathe me, feed me, change my clothes. Everything. Anna. If it weren't for you, I would be walking," she said, her eyes burning. "So now you're going to learn what it's like to carry a weight you didn't ask for." Michel stayed silent, and he accepted. From that moment on, love did not yet exist there. There was only pain, revenge, and a destiny that was beginning to take shape. The days at the mansion began to turn into a silent battlefield. Anna woke up early, consumed by a mixture of physical pain and a type of anger she no longer knew where to store. Every movement required help. Every simple gesture was a cruel reminder of everything she had lost. And Michel was there. Every day. He arrived before sunrise and only left late at night. He learned to lift Anna from the bed, place her in the wheelchair, help her in the shower, change the bandages, prepare her food. He did everything with a care that sometimes irritated her more than it helped. "Slower," she would say, dryly. "You're hurting me." Even when he wasn't. She made a point of being harsh. "The water is too cold. You put too much salt. You're not even good for this." Michel accepted everything in silence. Inside him, however, a war was happening. He came from a family where no one raised their voice, no one cleaned their own floor, no one took care of anything that wasn't their own image. Now, the exemplary heir found himself kneeling in the bathroom, drying the floor after the bath of a woman who hated him. But, strangely, it was there that he felt most alive. At night, when he reached his room, Michel studied anatomy, neurology, clinical cases, experimental therapies, everything involving spinal cord injury recovery. Not out of obligation, but out of necessity. Anna's pain had become his mission. One day, during physical therapy, Anna exploded. "Do you think this is going to do anything?" she screamed, tears falling uncontrollably. "I'm never going to walk again. Do you understand that?" Michel knelt before her, his eyes glistening. "I don't know if you'll walk again," he said, his voice firm and broken at the same time. "But I know that you won't go through this alone." Anna stared at her. At that moment, something inside her trembled. But pride spoke louder. "Don't come to me with pity," she whispered. "It's not pity, he replied. It's responsibility. And it's care. The silence spread between them. There, in that white room, they realized they were no longer just fighting against each other. They were fighting against life. And life usually doesn't make it easy. Winter arrived early that year. The sky seemed always gray, as if it had forgotten the color of the sun. The mansion, once silent, began to carry an invisible weight, made of unspoken words, tired looks, and sleepless nights. Anna didn't scream as much anymore. But that didn't mean she was better. On the contrary, she closed herself off. She began to refuse physical therapy, food, visitors. She spent hours staring at the garden through the window, watching people walk, birds fly, the world moving on. Without her, Michel tried to talk. Today was a bit better than yesterday. You managed to move your hips. She turned her face. Don't lie to me. One day, Michel's family hosted an elegant dinner. Businessmen, doctors, influential friends. The house filled with laughter and clinking glasses. Anna heard everything from her room, alone. When Michel entered to take her to the living room, she refused. I'm not part of that world, she said. I don't want anyone to see me like this. He knelt before her. You are stronger than you imagine. Anna laughed bitterly. Strong? I can't even stand up. That night, after everyone had left, Anna broke. She cried like she hadn't cried since she was a child. Cried until she ran out of breath. Cried until her chest ached. Michel found her like this. She clung to his shirt as if she were falling into an abyss. I lost everything, she whispered. He wrapped his arms around her, and in that embrace, something changed. It wasn't love yet. It was humanity. But for someone who was at the bottom, that was already a miracle. After that night, something silent began to change in Anna. Nothing magical, nothing fast, but real. She started to accept physical therapy again. It still hurt. It was still tiring. It still hurt inside. But now, there was a small thread of will sustaining it all. Michel continued to be there. Every day. He no longer just did what she told him. He observed. He learned. He studied. He talked to doctors. He brought books to her room. He played low music when she couldn't sleep. One day, during an exercise, Anna managed to move her foot. Only a few millimeters. But she did it. She stayed still, looking, unable to believe it. Michel. Her voice came out trembling. He approached. She tried again. The foot moved. Michel brought his hand to his face. Did you see? She whispered. He laughed and cried at the same time. I saw it. That night, Anna couldn't sleep. Not from pain, but from hope. She realized, for the first time since the accident, that a path still existed. She didn't know where it would lead, but it existed. And that changed everything. Puzzle Piece Chapter 7, The Courage to Change. The day dawned clear. The sky was clean, and the light entered softly through Anna's bedroom window. For weeks she hadn't noticed the beauty of the world, but that morning, something different was happening inside her. She asked Michel to open the window all the way. The wind touched her face. I want to try to stand up today, she said suddenly. Michel stared at her, surprised. Are you sure? She took a deep breath. I am. The physical therapist came. Michel stood by her side, holding her hands. The effort was intense. Her legs shook. Her whole body seemed to scream. But Anna didn't let go. When she finally managed to support her own weight, even for a few seconds, the whole world seemed to align. She was standing. She cried. Michel did too. At that moment, she didn't think about the accident. She didn't think about revenge. She didn't think about the pain. She thought only, I am still here. From that day on, nothing was the same. Anna began to walk short distances, first with support, then alone. Each step was a silent victory, built with pain, discipline, and a faith she didn't even know she possessed. Michel continued to be there, but now there was something different between them. Silences that didn't hurt. Timid smiles. Looks that lingered longer than they should. One late afternoon, they stayed in the garden watching the sunset. "I spent a long time hating you," Anna said, suddenly. Michel took a deep breath. "I know. And you never gave up. Because I believed in you, even when you didn't believe in yourself." She stared at him. There, in that golden light, she realized what she had already been feeling for weeks. It was love. And it was impossible. Michel was engaged. His family would never accept it. She came from a completely different world. But the heart does not respect borders. The news spread through the house like a silent wind. Michel had ended his engagement. The family reacted with shock, then with anger, then with attempts at control. There were arguments, threats, emotional blackmail. "You are going to destroy our name," his father said. "I cannot live a life that isn't mine," Michel replied. And then he did something no one expected. He left. He left the house, the inheritance, the surname as a shield. He rented a small house near the hospital where he worked and asked Anna to go with him. Not as a favor, as a choice. Months later, Anna walked alone down the sidewalk, without support, without crutches, under the morning sun. Michel watched her from the door, smiling. She turned to him. "We made it," he replied. "We chose." Their love wasn't born from chance. It was born from the fall, from the pain, from the courage to start over when everything seemed lost. They didn't have a perfect life, but they had a true life, and that was everything. If this story touched your heart, perhaps it can also touch the heart of someone you love. Subscribe to the channel to walk with us through other stories that remind us that it is always possible to start over. Share this video with someone who needs hope today. And leave in the comments what this journey awakened in you. You are not alone. You never were.